Well, very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. What a wonderful day we have for it.
Postponed, opening the 2018 Darley Stallion Parade. He's just covered his first book of mares here at Dalham Hall. He was a record breaker, European champion. His highest rated effort was for winning the Juddmonte International. It's truly magnificent in full flight, a very popular racehorse. And he retired last year as the highest rated horse trained in Britain or Ireland, with a time form rating of that magic 130, after no fewer than 4 victories at Group 1 level. He's been exceptionally well supported by you, the breeders, with a first book that includes 72 group winners or their dams, daughters or siblings. They include Group 1 winner Ajman Princess, plus the Dam of Coronation Stakes heroine Fallen for You, and the dam of fellow Darley Stallion and fellow multiple group and Grade 1 winner Hunter's Light. Big striding, Teofilo. Undefeated European champion as a juvenile and now firmly established as an exceptional sire of runners of the very highest class. And this year alone he's sired 27 runners rated 100 or higher by time form. Ladies and gentlemen, that puts him right up with the elite stallions of Europe, Dubawi, his own sire Galileo and Frankel, who of course is bred on that same Galileo Danehill cross. Another key statistic, he has sired 11% stakes winners to runners aged 3 and up, and you know the value of that. Teofilo, who's sired 14 Group 1 winners so far, horses like classic winners Trading Leather and Plaichcock, both trained by Teofilo's trainer Jim Bolger. His first stallion son is Havana Gold, Britain's leading freshman sire last year. Just feast your eyes on that imposing physique, his lithe athleticism, the battling resolve he showed when winning the Dewhurst, 12 years ago now. That is what you get when you send a mare to Teofilo. Pure class. Looming out of the shadows, here he comes, one of the best sprinters of recent times, back near the scene of perhaps his greatest triumph. This is Slade Power, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Slade Power retired with a higher rating than his own sire, Dutch Art, his grandsire Medici, his great-grandsire Machiavellian. In fact, he was assessed as the best horse from the Machiavellian sire line since the outstanding Street Cry. His first yearlings made up to €310,000 at last year's sales, with some of the shrewdest judges in the business buying his offspring. He's done incredibly well at stud, let down beautifully, and he's had some incredibly promising winners to his name as well, including the Stakes Filly Strings of Life, who was victorious at Newmarket's Craven meeting on her racecourse debut. And there's lots of other exciting runners to look forward to as well, and if they progress as well as he did, he surely will be his great-grandsire Machiavellian's rightful heir. This is from Australia, and this is Brazen Beau. He was a champion sprinter as a 3-year-old, a rare enough feat in a country where speed is king, but a title also held by fellow Darley Stallion Exceed and Excel, more of whom later in his day. He really was a very, very smart 3-year-old, ladies and gentlemen, and his first crop of yearlings will be at the sales this autumn, and if his first Australian crop's anything to go by, they'll go down really well. He is Australia's leading first season sire at the sales, where his offspring made up to $700,000 and averaged a very impressive $155,000. That's almost 90,000 sterling. Brazen Beau then, he's the best male descendant of Invincible Spirit after the superb Kingman. Quite something. And hailing from that green desert lineage, famous for its explosively fast performers and, of course, its very good stallions. Brazen Beau retired as the best sprinter from this line since Oasis Dream, and he's the very best by the Australian phenomenon I Am Invincible. And if you're still wondering if he's got what it takes, well, he's from the family of top stallion Night Shift. Territories, If you're talking about stallion families, there are none better than this horse's. Group 1 2-year-old, classic miler, the best in his outstanding family since two of the most significant outcross sires of our time, the aforementioned Street Cry and that Darley stalwart Shamadal. Territories has his first foals on the ground, and what an impression they've been making on studs around Europe. He's one of the best miling sons of Invincible Spirit, the sire of Kingman, and he's just completed his second season here at Dalham Hall, and Chris reports he's doing incredibly well. His first two books include 190 stakes winners, or dams or siblings of stakes winners, and 39 daughters of or siblings to Group 1 winners. So he has been given, by all the people here at Dalham Hall, every chance to be as good a stallion as Shamadal and Street Cry. And his pedigree, he's got the looks, and crucially, he's got the race record. And those of you with breeding rights ought to be very excited. Brazen Beau territories, and now profitable. That Invincible Spirit influence continuing with the great stallion's best sprinting son. This is he. You'll struggle to find a better looking speed horse either. New to the roster at Kildangan this year, he's had nearly 160 mares tested in foal, so he'll be very well represented at the sales and on the racecourse in years ahead. He dominated the sprint rankings through the spring of 2016 with victories in the Group 3 Palace House Stakes, the Group 2 Temple Stakes at Haydock Park, before he defeated an international field in the Group 1 King Stand Stakes at Royal Ascot. He was an elite sprinter, like his sire and like his grandsire before him. Like Invincible Spirit, like Green Desert, he's out of a mare by another, Indian Ridge. And these are some of the most profoundly influential speed sire lines of recent decades. This is profitable, ladies and gentlemen, and there must be every chance that he will join his sire, his grandsire, his maternal grandsire, as a significant source of speed, durability, and real class in the years to come. Golden Horn, ladies and gentlemen, in all his magnificent dappled glory, the 2015 Horse of the Year. He was quite simply as accomplished a racehorse as you are ever likely to see, today or any other day. He carried all before him during his classic year. He won the Dante Stakes at York, the Derby, the Eclipse Stakes, the Irish Champion Stakes, and of course, memorably under that brilliant ride, the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. And he was rated superior to any turf performer in the world. And his Derby win, ladies and gents, as I'm sure you know, was the third fastest ever, earning him that time form 1:30, fully £4 ahead of Cape Cross's first Derby winner, the simply brilliant See the Stars, after his own win in the race. This year, 2018, he's once again covered an elite book of mares. Over 70% of them are group winners or their dams or their siblings. Parading on the lawn here at Dalham Hall for the first time, here is Ribchester. European champion miler at 3, European champion miler again at 4. The best possible advertisement for his sire, Farhh. He broke his maiden in the Group 2 Mill Reef Stakes at Newbury as a 2-year-old. He won the Jersey Stakes at Royal Ascot over 7 furlongs as a 3-year-old on his way to this victory in the Group 1 Prix Jacques de Marois. Now that earned him his first title as champion miler, and 3 more elite victories last season kept him right at the very top. He won the Lock-in Stakes by a wide margin at Newbury. He finished with the Prix de Moulin at Longchamp at Chantilly last September, but this, breaking the straight mile track record in the Queen Anne Stakes at Royal Ascot, was perhaps his finest hour. He's the first horse to win back-to-back European champion miler titles since Frankel. This is Fast Company, an intriguing horse with a mightily progressive profile as a stallion. He sired a Norfolk Stakes winner and plenty of other good winners in his first crop, and then the Irish 1,000 guineas winner in his second crop. Now that was from an incredibly low fee and without the assistance of the very best mares. But success has brought its rewards. Since transferring to Kildangan, he's had the support of so many of you, some of Europe's most astute breeders, and the smart money says this is a stallion not just to watch, but to use and to keep using. As well as jet setting, that classic winner, and Beta Alga, his Royal Ascot juvenile, he's had Group 1 filly Devonshire, high-class sprinters Downforce and Penny Pepper, plus handfuls of stakes-winning juveniles and big handicap winners. Fast Company, and his first post-jet-setting crop are foals of 2018. His book was again very big and full of quality this year. You are going to be hearing much, much more about him. And he is the handsome Last Lion. He was, ladies and gents, the toughest of 2-year-olds. A model of class and consistency in a 2-year-old campaign that ran all the way from the Brocklesby at Doncaster on the first day of the turf season to the Group 1 Middle Park Stakes here at Newmarket. He was precocious, he was gritty, he was tough, always up for the fight, and after his Middle Park win, the Last Lion was rated the equal of Caravaggio, the Commonwealth Cup winner, and Churchill, the 2,000 Guineas winner, as the joint best 2-year-old colt in Europe, so he was hugely talented as well. Now, the last Middle Park winner, ladies and gents, to retire as a 2-year-old was Dark Angel, and what a fantastic stallion he has turned out to be. And it's worth pointing out that this horse, the Last Lion, was superior to Dark Angel as a racehorse, and official ratings bear testament to that. He's by Choisir, also the sire of Royal Ascot juvenile producing stallion Star Spangled Banner, and his dam was a Group 1 juvenile for good measure. Speed, early maturing power, and no shortage of innate ability. It's in his genes, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Last Lion. Knight of Thunder, the 2,000 Guineas winner and member of Dubawi's ever-growing dynasty. An undefeated listed winner as a juvenile, he won a 2,000 Guineas rated by Timeform as the best renewal, and listen to this, ladies and gentlemen, the best renewal since Brigadier Gerard beat Mill Reef. 8 Group 1 winners were behind Knight of Thunder that afternoon, including Kingman, Australia, Charm Spirit, and Knight of Thunder trained on to win the Group 1 Lockinge Stakes at Newbury at 4. So, ladies and gents, what have you got here? You've got classic ability, you've got a dash of precocity, you've got the battling resolve, you've got the durability. He really is, as you can see today, and he is beautifully relaxed this afternoon, quite a package. Now, Knight of Thunder's first foals were bought by some of you and some of the best judges in the game last year: Peter and Ross Doyle, Blandford Bloodstock, Tally Ho, Yeomanstown, Mags O'Toole, Stroud Coleman, Jamie Railton, and so many more, and of course Godolphin and Rabba. Knight of Thunder's yearlings are at the sales this autumn, and there are exciting seasons ahead for this fellow. Another Guineas winner as well. What a racehorse. Dawn Approach. He's by the sire of the Derby winner Massar, of course, and Dawn Approach's juvenile campaign was quite extraordinary. He won on the opening day of the 2-year-old racing calendar. He won the first 2-year-old stakes race of the year. He landed the Group 2 Coventry Stakes, the Group 1 National Stakes, and he won the Group 1 Dewhurst. His Group 1 winning ways continued at 3 with a 5-length victory in the 2,000 Guineas. He then made a successful return to Royal Ascot. He had that terrific battle with Toronado, of whom he got the better. Dawn Approach's first crop are now 3-year-olds, and he's going well with 5 group performers. Exciting young sprinter Haddaf won the Scurry Stakes for James Tate, and he's got a top-class filly in France as well, trained by André Fabre, and that is Musis Amica. He's by the sire of Massar, New Approach, a Coventry winner, classic bloodlines, a classic filly in his first crop. He is Dawn Approach. Just some horses just look fast, and this is one of them. And he is Buratino, the Coventry Stakes winner, very smart son of that new sire of sires, Exceed and Excel. And like the Last Lion, and like Dawn Approach, who you've just seen, Buratino won on the opening day of the season. He will be imparting precocity to your mares. He was brilliantly handled by Mark Johnston. He went on to take the Woodcote Stakes, which had patent status at the time on Derby Day, following up 10 days later with this impressive victory in the Coventry. And after that, Buratino raced solely in Group 1 company. As you might expect, he put up a terrific performance in the Phoenix Stakes and in the Middle Park, where he was only narrowly beaten by Shalar. He's the best European 2-year-old by Exceed and Excel. He's from the family of champion sire Danehill Dancer, who he was rated superior to, incidentally, and Exceed and Excel is doing very nicely as a sire of sires, as I said, with Bungle in the Jungle and Kuroshio among the first season sires, and Helmet and Acceleration both siring major Group or Grade 1 winners. If you're going to spend 625,000 guineas, you want a good-looking horse. That's what this horse cost as a yearling, and this is why. He's by Oasis Dream out of Annabelle's Charm by Indian Ridge. He is Charming Thought, rated higher than Showcasing, the best stallion son of Oasis Dream so far. He was a very high-class juvenile after victories in minor races at Lingfield and Leicester. He took a big step up and faced a select field in the Middle Park Stakes. Richmond and July Stakes winner Ivor Wood, Jim Crack hero and future champion sprinter Muharrar, Railway Stakes and Prix Robert Papin winner Cool Company, all the best sprinting juveniles of that era put to the sword by this horse. Charming Thought. He's by Oasis Dream, so he is by a proven sire of sires. Exceptional conformation. He's a Group 1 winner as a 2-year-old. But that's not all. He is stamping his foals really well. He's got all the right attributes. And who's to say confidently that he will not be the one for the next generation? Very distinctive and very popular. Another one by Exceed and Excel. He's out of Accessories by Singspiel. It's a pure Darley family through and through. He is, of course, the beast that is Helmet, and you couldn't wish for a better advert for his sire. A superstar in his native Australia, Helmet won the Australian equivalent of the Dewhurst, the Racing Post Trophy, the 2,000 guineas, and rated the best 2-year-old yet by Exceed and Excel. He got away to a lightning fast start to his stallion career with plenty of impressive precocious winners, but every stallion needs that one marquee horse that's really going to push them through the barrier, and he got it in his first crop with Thundersnow's win in the Group 1 Critérium International over 7 furlongs in Paris. And after winning the UAE 2,000 guineas and the UAE Derby, Thundersnow added to his Group 1 haul in the Prix Jean Prat. So versatile, dirt to turf, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, and then he capped the lot with this storming victory in the Dubai World Cup. Now the best may well yet be to come. Early success has granted Helmet ever bigger and better books. He's a record breaker in his native Australia. He's gained global fame with the exploits of his offspring. This is Farhh. He's a second season sire sensation. The best ever racehorse by Pivotal. That makes him better than Sayuni. And what a stallion he's turning out to be. Better than Kailaki. What a brilliant racehorse and stallion he's been. But this horse, Farhh, was supremely gifted on the track. Fast, determined, with an awesome, relentless stride. And model of consistency, he made the frame in each and every one of his 10 racecourse appearances. Undefeated at 2. Unbeaten at 3, made a fist of it against Frankel at 4 and just about made the best of that, and rounded off his racing career with victory in the Champion Stakes. And how about this as a mark of his constitution? Every time he returned to the fray after a break, he was, according to Timeform, even better than the last time he left it. He's made a terrific start at stud. He's the leading second season sire by percentage of stakes winners to runners, stakes horses to runners, and group winners to runners. As ever, he'll have a limited book to maintain his fertility, Farhh, and Dawn and her team have kept breeders closely informed with how he's going. I'm very happy to talk to you about him today. 70% of his mares covered in foal. There'll never be huge numbers to this horse, but he is a horse you can consider with a degree of confidence granted his brilliant ability on the racecourse and the ability that now some of his progeny is showing. You wouldn't know it, but he's 18 years old. Exceed and Excel. You've seen the sons, now here's the daddy. The very first of the Darley reverse shuttlers and the most well-travelled stallion in the business. He remains the best sire of juvenile winners and juvenile stakes winners in the world. He's a real global pioneer of a stallion, a champion sprinter at 3. Exceed and Excel has over 140 runners who've earned black type as 2-year-olds. The latest being recent Newmarket listed winner Royal Intervention. It's not just his 2-year-olds who continue to cement his position as a leading sire. Only Dubawi, who we'll see very shortly, and Galileo have more horses rated 120 or higher by Timeform this year. This horse is building a real legacy, ladies and gents, as a true sire of sires, building his own dynasty, not only through Helmet, who you saw a few moments ago, but also through this year's leading first season sires, Bungle in the Jungle and Curoscio. He's founding a sire line all of his own, and very few can boast that claim. Ladies and gents, he is Exceed and Excel. Dubawi, 16 years old, and continuing the legacy the tragically brief legacy of Dubai Millennium. Dubawi, officially the most successful sire ever to stand in Britain, and without doubt, and no hyperbole here, one of the very best in the world. Hot news this week, 100 group winners, and in the 4 decades of the pattern, no British stallion has ever been so successful. Now, it's often said that racing's a numbers game. 16% stakes winners to runners, 10% group winners to runners. They are the best in the business. And here's another huge number, 35 Group 1 winners to his name, including Ben Battle. The Dubawi dynasty, ladies and gentlemen, you have been in the presence of greatness once again. The history-making, breed-shaping Dubawi. Arthur, thank you very much. New approach, Derby winner, and 10 years on, Derby sire. Magnificent chestnut powerhouse. New approach, the unbeaten European champion at 2, beaten a nose in the Guineas before winning the Derby, and then the Champion Stakes in record time on the Rowley Mile. Flying start at stud. The first stallion ever to sire 3 Royal Ascot Group or Stakes winning juveniles in the same season, and what's more, he did it with his very first crop. He had the Guineas winner, Dawn Approach, the Oaks winner, Talent, the Derby runner-up, the Ledger runner-up. In that first crop, what a sensational start he had. And from the crop conceived the year after all those great early successes, New Approach has already sired 4 Group or Grade 1 performers. He's got more Group 1 horses from this crop than any other stallion after his own sire, Galileo. Quite simply, you get whatever you want from New Approach. You get champion milers, brilliant juveniles, top-class stayers, but most of all, you get a Derby winner. Massart. Ladies and gentlemen, what a way to finish. The sire of this year's Derby winner, New Approach.